Yes, hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the St. Joseph Composite PU College, Vijaypur. I am Rahul, chemistry faculty, and in this video, I'm going to discuss the depression of freezing point. The general term I can tell you that when you add the ice and salt, the temperature of the ice is not going to be 0 degrees Celsius. It's going to be in the minus. The, that the freezing point is it go into the minus sign. Okay, and that is why it is happening that we're going to discuss here. Okay, that is, let's understand this why the depression of freezing point occurs. Okay, so first thing, let me draw a graph, a simple graph we're going to discuss first. So this side, I will take along this coordinate, I will take the vapor pressure. So vapor pressure. Okay, now along this axis, I will consider the temperature T. Okay, now what I will do that. So here at certain temperature, assume that somewhere here there is a room temperature is there. Okay, here somewhere room temperature is there. If I take a pure solvent, one thing you remember that pure solvents are always having greater vapor pressure as compared to solutions containing non-volatile solute. So therefore, at room temperature, here somewhere the room temperature is there, it having certain vapor pressure. Somewhere here I will take the vapor pressure. Okay, as you decrease the temperature, the molecule lose the kinetic energy. When molecule lose kinetic energy, the vapor pressure is decreasing because vaporization also decreases. Okay, by decreasing the temperature, the vaporization process is done, it is gone decreasing. That should be a gradual. So as I decrease the temperature, the vapor pressure is decreased like this. It reaches somewhere here. Okay, this is about the solvent. Let me write here solvent. It is about the solvent. Now we'll take a solvent, and in that I'm going to add some non-volatile solute. What is a non-volatile solute? The solute at room temperature, it do not get vaporized. That is known as a non-volatile solute. And such one solute I'm going to add. For example, if I add here water plus NaCl. This is an example that water is volatile solvent and NaCl is non-volatile solute. And if you combine these two, the solution of non-volatile solute will become. Now, well-known thing is that when a solutions are there, the solution surface is occupied by both the components, solvent and solute. Therefore, the vaporization of solvent get decreased. At room temperature, the vapor pressure of the solution is somewhere here. You can see that. The same temperature, the vapor pressure correspond to these 2 points are different. So here this point indicate that higher vapor pressure. You can see that. It is higher vapor pressure, and for the solution, it is lower vapor pressure. Okay, this is for solution. Solution of non-volatile solute. Okay. Here also when you decrease the temperature, the vaporization process is also decreased, and by that the vapor pressure is also decreased. So therefore, here also the gradual decrease in the vapor pressure, we can see that, or vaporization is, you can see that. Okay, it reaches somewhere here. Okay. Now this is a point where the vapor pressure have some particular values to it. Now I connect these 2 points. So this is one point. I connect these 2 points. Okay. So this is very important point. This line is, this indicate that frozen liquid or frozen solvent. Let me write this point. This is frozen solvent. Okay. Ultimately, what you can get that from here to here, the solvent is in the solid state. And most of the time, you know that the solids have very low vapor pressure, or almost to say that I always teach the student that vapor pressure of all the solids are zero if it is not operating at a room temperature. Okay. So therefore, so here this is solution and solvent. You can see that the solvent and it freezes and reaches a point. Here it is solidified. Let me take here a line. So this is a line I will take. So this will be the freezing point of the solvent that I'm going to write here. T not F, freezing point of your solvent. Now this point is there. Now this point you're going to term here as, you can see that this is the freezing point of solution. Therefore, I'm going to write this one as TF. Okay, so which one is larger here? T naught F is there. Now this is the larger value, but TF is smaller value because only one thing is that so vapor pressure is already less. Okay, and by that you have to, if you decrease the temperature at the same extent, the vapor pressure drastically decreases here. And by that what happens here, students? The vapor pressure should be here, but due to the presence of non-volatile solute, the surface vaporization is less, and therefore it extends to this part. Okay, this part is extended due to the concentration. So this part is there. Now this part we can call it is as change in freezing point or depression of a freezing point, right? So therefore I'm going to write here one thing. delta tf is equal to, yes, we can write here the larger value is t naught f minus tf. So this is the equation that give the information that after adding non-volatile solute to a volatile solvent, the freezing point decreases. Okay. Now, one thing we have to remember, only one point here, that is um, the vapor pressure of the non-volatile solute uh, usually that is always lower than compared to the pure solvent, and because of that I don't want to write it because in the previous video I was explaining the same thing. Let it be, I will write it. The vapor pressure, the vapor pressure of of a solution, of a solution of non-volatile solute is always is always lower than lower than lower than lower than the lower than the pure solvent at particular temperature. Okay, both should be at a particular temperature, and because of this reason we have to do something very interesting here. So liquid freezes, it is the definition for the freezing point. A liquid freezes at a temperature at a temperature temperature okay, temperature when vapor pressure of, this is very important student, I just highlighted, vapor pressure of solid solvent, vapor pressure of solid solvent. So what is the meaning of vapor pressure of solid solvent? When you decrease the temperature, the solvent is converted into solid, and that solid having certain vapor pressure. Okay, the vapor pressure of solid solvent, okay, becomes equals to equals to that of liquid solvent. Vapor equals to vapor pressure of liquid solvent. Okay, so this is the definition for the, you can say that the freezing point of the solutions. And because of this reason, what happens, the solutions have, because of this reason, solutions of non-volatile solute, of non-volatile solute have lower vapor pressure, vapor or freezing point than that of that of that of pure solvent, pure, that is volatile solvent, pure solvent student. You have to remember this. This is what we learn from the graph. But experiments says that experiments give something very interesting terms here, like delta tf is there, no, that is depression in freezing point is there, no, this is directly proportional to again molality, or depression of freezing point is a colligative property because it depends upon the concentration of solution, means number of solute particles present in that particular solvent. So therefore what I will do, that delta t f is equal to, I will take a constant kf multiplied by m. Then what is kf? Kf is constant. Kf is constant. Can name it constant. It is called here as, that is freezing point depression constant. Freezing point depression constant. Okay, or we can call it molar depression constant. Molar depression constant. Only thing is that students, you have to remember various names. Another term is cryoscopic constant. Okay, so this is all about the terms of kf. We'll define the kf now. So kf, whatever the term is, that the kf, that's exactly equal to delta tf, students. Okay, this is a condition when a small m, there is a molality, equals to 1. So therefore we can define the molar depression constant is equals to depression of freezing point when the concentration you have to mention here, when 1 mole of non-volatile solute, 1 mole of non-volatile solute, 1 mole of non-volatile solute is dissolved in 1 kg or 1000 grams of volatile solvent. Okay, volatile solvent. Okay, let's wait. volatile solvent. Okay, that's correct. Volatile solvent, I have right. Okay, so this is what we get. But the problem is we can make some part like determination of molecular mass of the solute, and for that we can't use molality. In terms of, we have to change the formula, that we know that m is equal to the given weight Wa divided by molecular weight, that is gives the number of moles, multiplied by 1000 divided by given weight of the solvent in the grams. Okay, so this is equation number 2. As I mentioned in the previous video, you can go and check. So now this equation I take it as equation number 1. Now when I connect these two equations from 1 and 2, I get here delta TF is equal to, we get here kf into we'll write this term here WA. Sorry students, a little error is there. So I will take here WB. So WB, B is solute, that is a non-volatile solute is there. A is solvent. Okay, little correction is there, you can correct it. So it is WB by MB multiplied with 1000, and that should be divided by WA, the mass of solvent. Okay, now MB is equal to, interchange the terms here, MB is equal to, we get here KF WB 1000 and whole divided by delta TF and WA. So this is the equation we can use to determine the molecular mass of non-volatile solute is dissolved in a volatile solvent. So this formula is important, student. In upcoming video I will explain the sum of the problems related to this equation, or we're going to solve some equations or problems on this formula. Thank you for watching this video.